Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pert.
Good morning, Earthlings.
Good.
How you doing today?
Good.
How you doing today? Welcome
Morning,
to First
Earthlings.
Contact
How you doing
Radio.
today?
Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things I'm talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Poet. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. He'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. He'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause it's time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio.
It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio.
It's time.
First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand
First
the
Contact
truth.
Radio. We have arrived. First Contact. Good morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? I have returned. I took a little time off. Need a little break. Talk about that a little bit more as we get along with the show. But let us jump into our cosmic weather. Get things started here for today. Today is the 16th of March 2015. So we are in a sun sign of Aquarius. A sun sign of Pisces for just a little bit longer. Rest of this week. And we are in a moon sign today that has made a transition, and now it is in Aquarius. So we have Pisces and Aquarius. Pisces and Aquarius. So let's take a look first at what those are. Pisces, represented right here. Pisces, the tarot card of the moon. The tarot card of the moon is a card that deals, well, first of all, Pisces deals with water. So we're a water sign. Water's emotions. So we're dealing with an emotional sign, emotional energies around us. The idea is we as beings, we receive energy all day long, whether we are aware of it or not. It's coming into our various channels. We're picking up the energy. And as we are affected by this energy, we then go into the world based on how we feel. If we're able to protect ourselves from all of the emotional blows that come our way throughout this, then we're in a good shape. So what this card teaches us, it says that in life is an evolutionary process. We move from the water, we evolve, we move past what we know into what we don't know. And once we move into what we don't know, now we're moving into a place where we have to apply faith. So faith is very important with this card. The Hebrew letter Qaf is assigned to this card. It means back of the head. It's a reminder that even though the sun isn't out, the light still shines through the light of the moon, that we're able to have the faith that that light in the universe exists out there. The moon sign for today is Aquarius. Aquarius right here, Aquarius the water bearer. Aquarius is the one who has, as you could see here, 1 foot on the land, 1 foot on the water, 1 foot on the conscious, 1 on the unconscious. This is the tarot card that is representative of that futuristic time that we all thought of. Remember, in the 60s we heard all of the age of Aquarius. Well, this is what this is all about. The idea, the Aquarian age, the new opportunities, new ideas. So we combine these. We have an air sign and we have a water sign. Water sign for the sun sign, moon sign being an air sign. Air and water work nice together, but they can also be a big storm if we let them get out of control. Some of the aspects we're looking at today that we're dealing with is, we had Mercury earlier this morning. We had Mercury and Saturn. We're in a square position. Our communication going through a disciplinary or focusing phase, moving from there into right here the Aquarian moon. As we move through the course of today, again, we have Saturn is going to be in a sextile with the moon sign Aquarius. So again, we're going to have to focus. What are those ideas? What are the things we want to do? Where are we going? How are we going to get there? A good day of processing a lot of this information. Remember, it's an air sign, so air is all about the mind as well. So we're dealing with mental activities, and it's about focusing what we want to do. We're also just a few days away from the first day of spring, so a new cycle's beginning. The first beginning of the zodiac. So we're getting ready for a fresh start, so we kind of want to take a look at where we've been so we can make that preparation. We also have a square going on here between Uranus and Pluto. Uranus and Pluto, this is something that has been going on for a while. And what this is, Uranus, unexpected changes, Pluto's deep transformation. So when you bring deep transformation and you put it up against these unexpected changes, surprises, and there's a lesson that's in there, well, all bets are off on what could happen. There could be some change that could come our way from some completely unexpected sources. So we just need to be aware as we go through the day, especially tonight, because this is when this aspect hits, 9:54 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Brought this wheel up here. I'm going to bring this on a regular basis every day now. This is so you can really get an idea of what's going on, how we're looking at things here, okay? So we've got the wheel, we've got the 12 segments here. So this segment here, Pisces, is where our sun is. There's our sun sign right there. So our sun is in Pisces. We can see the other planets there are in Pisces as well. There's Neptune. There is Mercury. And then we see where our moon sign is in Aquarius back here. Pluto, Saturn, and Sagittarius. Some of these have been here for a long time. Some are just passing through. Leo, North Node, Leo, Jupiter. And back here at the beginning, Uranus, Aries, and Venus. Okay, so it just helps you to kind of get a look at this and understanding, so you could see how things are aspecting each other. And this gives a nice little calculation so you can see where we're at and where we're moving to. Alright, every day I'll explain a little bit more about this, but just wanted to bring this up today so you can kind of get an idea of what's going on with it. I got a nice little widget here I'm going to add to the website later, so you'll be able to see that on a regular basis. Alright, today on the Jewish calendar, today would be 25 Adar. 25 Adar, the year 5775, the month Adar, moving to the next month, Nisan, in a couple of days, end of this week. Okay. Daily thought for today: take the high road. Two rivers take you home. One flows through bitter tears of remorse, the other with sweet tears of joy. For the most of the time, the principal path of travel was the bitter one. Only once soaked in those bitter wars could you rise to embrace your God with joy. But now we have experienced more than our fill of pain, that which our people suffered in lands across the ocean that purged every stain, bleached every garment of our souls, refined us, and lifted us high. We have cried through bitter tears. Now is the time to return with joy. Current moon phase is a waning moon, which means we're going back down to the new moon. Going back down to the new moon, we're 20% of the way full, so a couple of days we'll be back there as well. Space weather. Solar wind is currently at 403.0 kilometers per second. Planetary K index at the moment is 3, which is quiet. We have had some activity, which may account for some of the intense weather that we've been having out in here in California. It's been really hot. Different parts of the country have experienced some warmer weather and crazy storms and things of this nature. And all of this is definitely affected by what's going on out there in the cosmos. Coronal holes, we got some big coronal holes opening up here, one at the bottom, one at the top. Nothing directly facing us, but we are, at least in the path, that the end of this week, as we head into the first day of spring, we're going to be getting hit by some solar wind to welcome us into the springtime. M-class flare possibility is up to 70%. X-class is at 20%. Geomagnetic storm activity in the mid-latitudes, 15, jumping up to 30. Everything's going up here, 5 to 10. In the higher latitudes, it is also increasing as well, 25 to 30, 20 to 40. The only place it isn't is in the active region where it seems to be dropping, but everything else is picking up. If we look at the sky tonight, it says the brightest point of light at dusk is Venus in the west. Second brightest is Jupiter, much higher in the east-southeast. Look to the right of Jupiter by 2 or 3 fists at arm's length for Procyon. Look the same distance lower right of Procyon, and there's the evening's third brightest point, Sirius. And one other one, this is the summer triangle, sign spot for all seasons. It says tonight look for the summer triangle. It's not the summer for our northern temperate latitudes, but the 3 brilliant stars of the summer triangle, Vega, Deneb, and Altair, are out for at least part of the night, every night of the year. Presently the summer triangle shines in the eastern pre-dawn sky. You can often see this star formation from light-polluted areas. Like the Big Dipper, the summer triangle is an asterism, a pattern of stars that is not one of the officially recognized 88 constellations. To gauge the size of the signpost star formation, hold a ruler at arm's length from your eye. The ruler pretty much fills the gap between Vega and Altair, the summer triangle's first and second brightest stars, respectively. Like all the stars of the summer triangle, rise 4 minutes earlier every day, or 2 hours earlier every month. Why is this happening? Okay, it goes on because the Earth is orbiting the Sun, and the night sky is pointing out an ever-changing panorama of stars. All right, and gives you an idea of what's going on up there. And that is our cosmic weather to get us started for today. Let's jump over to UFO news, because that's up next.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
Alrighty, Dirk. Thank you very much. Okay, let's jump over here. Our first sighting we're going to take a look at is a sighting that happened in California. Video showing a UFO in a blazing speed above California creates online buzz. Alright. Object in question right here. Pretty good size object. A short video showing unidentified flying object shot from approximately 80 meters above the ground in Silicon Valley, California has been debated online after it was made available on Reddit and YouTube. YouTube user One Darmio posted the video on Saturday, March 7th with the title UFO Caught in the 4K Zone with Drone. Another version of the video posted by the user featured a slowed in motion, and it makes the fleeting passage. Okay, but the video is gone, so I can't show you that. But check the link anyway. Maybe the video will reappear. Alright, here's a sighting that happened in Oklahoma. This took place on the 12th. There's our object in question right there. This one happened during a live news show. You can see live on 5. Moved pretty fast, this one here. This is why. Is it people use the word junk so much? Everything from their sex parts to an old classic 68 Camaro to a painted over Leonardo da Vinci painting found in a used furniture store for $2. It's overused and misused. They cannot call this space debris unless they have statistical data that proves it's from the government, military, rocket, or satellite. Junk? No way. So, just a statement from Scott, but here's the story. It's been a day since the KOCO morning team caught a mysterious light flying across the sky near the Grand Casino in Shawnee. What exactly was it? Coco's Bree Stefan went into Rose State College to get to the bottom of it. It's obviously an unidentified flying object. It's a UFO, Professor Stephen Fowler said. Professor Stephen Carano and Stephen Fowler put their heads together and came up with the most likely answer. Maybe a small meteorite the size of less than a pea or even smaller. Carano said these things come in, they're glowing hot and trajectory is too straight. Most likely a meteorite could be a piece of space junk. The professors also ruled out an optical illusion or moving light. Serino says it was just too fast and sharp, and the light was being diffused as it moved across the sky. We don't think that this was anything from intelligent life, he said. Okay, but they don't know. But let's take a look at this here. There you go. Look how fast that thing moves. So they just want to dismiss it as always as it being something that is just a meteor or an asteroid or space junk or some other stuff, yada, 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 yada. But we know better. Okay? Nice, good object right there. And we're going to disregard the commentary. If you want to watch it, the link's available. First Contact Radio. Now, here's a story you may have heard. President Obama was on the Jimmy Kimmel show, and he asked him a few things about extraterrestrials. And I'm not going to play the video, but I'm going to leave the link available. And basically, it said this came out last night. Obama came on the Jimmy Kimmel show and shot off some smart-ass remarks about the aliens and UFOs. Why bother reading his facial expressions or the speed his blood vein in his neck is speeding or slowing down when you and I both know no president will ever release this information? Basically, what he goes on to say is that, extraterrestrials, they kind of keep something to the effect of keeping a tight watch on us, and they are told not to talk about them. So, whatever the case may be, he wasn't going to say anything. He's kind of following along with the party line, which is standard for someone in his position. But just goes to show, being that he did mention that what they are told to say, that he is not in charge of anything. He has handlers that tell him what to do, and he just follows along like a puppet. Like a puppet. Up on Mars, Mercury winged face found on Mars. Look at this. Okay, this is just an idea of what a coin looks like, but there you go. Look at this image up there. Cleaned up a little bit so you could see it better. Comparisons. Okay, again, these all come from government images that they take. What we are looking at here is quite complex. It's the head and shoulders of the Mercury made from linked structures. The structures have a gold color to them. This reminded me a lot of the old Mercury dimes I collected when I was a kid. The winged head is what really gave this Mars formation away, as it looked more certainly enlarging the photo. I found that it was made of structures combined together with the form of Mercury face in the original photo. The bust is upside down in the bottom of the photo. Alright, moving on. Here we have a nice good compilation video. This is an 8-minute compilation video. And this is a compilation of videos or sightings over at our favorite volcano, Popocatépetl. I guess it's favorite just because it's fun to say, Popocatépetl. I may be pronouncing it wrong for all I know, but that's the way I think it is. Anyway, the link on First Contact Radio, we have a link to a webcam where you can go and watch this on a regular basis, like many do, and that's where they capture these sightings. Okay, nice, good 3D animation. And if you just go through, you see a lot of different sightings. Here we go. There's one right there. And as we go through here, there's a lot of really good sightings. And many of them we've shown on the show. Some of them, like this one, we see they're going to dive right in. Or close by. And we've seen long cigar-shaped objects going in. We've seen things flying out. There's that cigar. We like this volcano. Alright. We definitely do. Alright. There's the ones going in. So what's inside this volcano? Some sort of a base? Alright. Very interesting indeed. Let's move on from here. Alright. Over the last couple of days, I don't know if you're aware of it, but it's been like a week, and Vladimir Putin was a no-show. Apparently, he's made a reappearance today back into the world. However, this is says child animation studio works with Ukrainian school children to make a cartoon. UFO captures Putin. Ukrainian kids make cartoons showing the abduction of Russian president. An animation studio in Kyiv has turned Ukrainian children's drawings into a cartoon showing the abduction of Russian President Vladimir Putin by aliens. The animation entitled UFO over the Kremlin was initially created as a gift to the Ukrainian servicemen stationed in the east of the country, as many Ukrainian volunteers and write letters and prepare gifts and shoulders baffling UFO Russian separatists. Okay. So very interesting indeed. There you go. There he goes. So, whatever the case may be, he certainly made his reappearance today. So maybe they brought him back. Maybe he's a clone. I don't know. Weird things been going on. The other day there was a fire at the Kremlin. There's a live webcam that you could check out, and there's definitely a fire that took place there yesterday. Some strange things going on. Not quite certain, but interesting that they chose to present things that way. All right, evidence of the 1947 Roswell UFO may just come from the attic. A new, compelling details of the popular UFO incident in 1947 may be found in pictures that were kept secret for 25 years, which will be revealed in Mexico. People at the UFO Museum in Roswell are patiently waiting for the slides since the announcement of their scheduled revelation is a couple months ago. The photos will become available to the general public in May. They say that the slides found in the attic in Arizona in 1989 are authentic, including a picture of an alien. Bernard and Hilda Ray were reportedly the owners of the photos. Bernard reportedly worked as a geologist in the Roswell area. Both of them are already passed on. Many people at the UFO Museum are thrilled about what slides can bring to the table, whether they present new compelling evidence or just another blurred or clear altered photos. Stories about aliens have been fascinating people. A single substantial evidence indicating that other beings are out there in the universe is exciting. While the photos remain mysterious, the UFO investigator already considered them smoking gun evidence. However, UFO Museum assistant Karen Jamillo is skeptical, saying that it's difficult to believe that they're from Roswell. She explains that the only known information at present to them is that the photographs are between 47 and 49. The public access to the photos online through live streaming or by going to the National Auditorium in New Mexico City on May 5th. Okay, so be curious to see what this is all about, what they present. Okay, I know Roswell's the hotbed in America for UFOs as far as the stories go, but they're very, kind of tight-lipped about the UFO thing as well. As one would be expected. All right, remember we had heard that there were some UFO documents that had been released? Well, guess what? CIA took them back. CIA putting previously released UFO documents back in the vault. Examining and correlating documents contained in the 3 CIA sources, Crest Online, Freedom of Information Reading Room, Freedom of Information by Mail, is time-consuming and frustrating. Open Minds has reported that what has been learned from an examination of these files and other online resources that the CIA policy of releasing UFO documents has been less than forthcoming, and in at least one case the policy has been reversed. The problem is that the CIA has run into regards of the release of classified material is that when the released material is often collected by researchers and saved for future reference. So in 2006, the New York Times revealed a secret reclassification program undertaken by the intelligence community of previously released government documents at the National Archives. At the time, the program had been ongoing for 7 years. It appears the case regarding a UFO document that details CIA involvement with a documentary aired on CBS in 1966, featuring veteran newsman Walter Cronkite as the host. UFO, Friend, Foe, or Fantasy showcased the state of the UFO enigma in the mid-60s with an emphasis on explaining the phenomena in mundane terms. Okay, I'm going to leave that to you, but the government story, they decide that it's not best for you to know. You can't handle this, so they cover it up. And they release it, and then they cover it up. It's all a big game, right? And last but not least, over the last couple of weeks, there was a death of Leonard Nimoy, and I figured it would not be appropriate to leave the show without mentioning this today. But Leonard Nimoy, as we know, played the role of Spock. So Leonard Nimoy is an actor who played Spock in both the 1960 series Star Trek and several movies based on the show. After roles on Dragnet and The Twilight Zone, Leonard Nimoy earned the attention of producer and writer Gene Roddenberry and was cast on Star Trek as Mr. Spock. Star Trek premiered in 1966 and turned Nimoy into a legitimate star. Nimoy always stayed active as an actor with other projects, working as a photographer and a director as well, while his role on Spock on the TV show and the Star Trek movies over the years dominated his reputation. He died February 27th at the age of 83. So, just thought give a little shout out to Leonard Nimoy, and in my best way I could do it, live long. I'm not very good at this here. Live long and prosper, and may his journey in the stars be good as it was for him down here, showing us what's going on, and giving us all of the wonderful years of great Star Trek memories. Anyway, that's our UFO news for today. I'm going to jump away for a couple moments as usual, and I'll be back. We shall continue. Stay tuned.
Come into our circle, Great Spirit. Fill our souls with peace.
Continue on. So, I took a nice little 3-week break. I needed a break. I've been doing this show for over 5 years, Monday through Friday. There is a big chunk of time where I was doing 2 hours a day, and then I was doing an hour a day. I was doing shows sometimes in the morning, sometimes at the night. You've seen some of these shows. I've done a lot of them, when we're out on the road in Roswell. And from around the country at various different places when I've been out and about. I needed a break. I needed a break because the information was just got to the point where I just needed to stop and process a lot of stuff. Because the information is pretty heavy duty. As we left off, I was presenting information from the Nag Hammadi Library. We're going to continue on with that today, but the Nag Hammadi Library is one of those sources for the Gnostic Gospels. Gnostic, or gnosis, meaning knowledge, is information that we have that comes to us from sources that are during the time of Jesus and before. And this information, quite important information, but the big thing about it is this information in some way contradicts what the Bible is telling us. Because we're told that the Bible is the be-all, end-all of religious studies. But then when we come to find out what really is going on with the Bible, where did the Bible come from, how did the Bible get to be the way it is, we found out that the Bible is an edited book that was edited by men for political reasons. Now, can you imagine or can you understand how, when somebody does something for political reasons, they might choose to leave some information out? We see it every day, so nothing new is happening there. We also know that history is written by the winners, because the ones who are taken out, they don't get an opportunity to speak about their history. So it's not a problem to understand that after Jesus was no more, that his words would be changed, or what he was saying was even be left out or edited out. So all of this information that you heard was certainly something that really needed a lot of processing. And then the last couple shows before I took the break, I was also presenting you with information on the flat earth theory. told you I was going over the deep end and I was going to present this information to you. I think there's some quality information there. Are we living on a flat Earth? Are we living on a round globe? You know, there's good information out there either way. Some might argue and say I'm an absolute idiot for saying that the Earth is flat because of all the information we have, but we also know that we're easily fooled on this planet. Some might say that the Earth is round because we have all the proof, but then when we look at the source of where that information comes from, it comes from an agency called NASA, which has continuously misled the public over the years. So, I don't know. Is it really that big of a deal? I don't know. All I know is wherever we are, we're here on this planet. We are living, we're breathing, we are experiencing lots of things. And I think we want to keep an open mind just to understand that there is a lot out there that maybe we don't understand, that we should keep an open mind to. You know, I've had many discussions in regards to the flat Earth theory with people, and they say, oh, when did somebody suddenly come up with the idea that the Earth was flat? They didn't. You see, the concept that the Mayans had, that the Sumerians had, if you read through Zecharia Sitchin's book, it says the Earth was described as a round disk with a dome over it. The Greeks, many ancient societies, even if you read through the Old Testament, you see a flat Earth. The flat Earth idea was the predominating theory. What happened was during the medieval times, during the Middle Ages, suddenly someone came up with the idea that the Earth was round. So it's not that suddenly someone came up with the idea it was flat. It was someone came up with it was round. But at that point in time, they had no way of moving off the planet to see what the Earth looked like. It was all speculation. And when you start to see who those were that were involved in putting this information out there, Masons. Those that we know in this day and age seem to have some sort of vested interest in having a particular agenda presented to the public. So what's real, what's not, I don't know. All I know is I find it very fascinating that after all of these years, this theory hasn't gone away. I find it fascinating that there's information out there, videos where you can, hear Admiral Byrd talking about their expeditions to the North Pole. I find it fascinating to know that he made it to the end, to this ice wall that supposedly surrounds us. That there was a great expedition that was taking place there with many different nations, that they were saying how wonderful that their findings were, and this was going to be resources for years and years to come, and then all of a sudden they all, for no reason at all that we're aware of, just suddenly stopped. So there's a lot of mystery around what's going on, what it is that they might have discovered. We don't know, because the general person isn't just going to get on a boat and hop on out there. So we don't know. All we know is the stories that we have. And as we look throughout time, we know there's a lot of stories that are twisted around. Look at the stories of the Bible and then compare it to the Nag Hammadi text. The stories in the Nag Hammadi library, when you compare them to stories in the New Testament, as you've heard with your own ears, these are some of the same stories. The only difference is the stories in the Bible are shortened, edited down versions of these much longer stories. Well, these much longer stories, we're told, weren't found until 1945. Yet, parts of those stories exist in the Bible. How is that possible that parts of those stories exist in the New Testament, yet we're told that the entirety of those stories weren't found until 1945? Something to think about. Leads me to believe that those who edited the Bible knew the full versions of those stories and decided to tell otherwise. Again, for a political agenda. So we need to really take a good hard look at this. Is everybody going to believe this, accept this? I don't know. I'm not asking anyone to believe me. I'm simply saying keep an open mind and look at the information that's out there. Because you have the Holy Bible that we're told is an important book that has these stories in it. But when you read the stories in the Nag Hammadi library or the Gnostic Gospels, they contradict stories that are in the Bible. And we have this Bible, a book, on which 3 different religions all have their foundation: Islam, Judaism, and Christianity, because they all come from the patriarch Abraham. So there's an origin that's there. And if the mistruths of that book have gone on and given information to these 3 different religious groups that have sprung up over the years and continue to grow with this misinformation, can you see how the world might have gotten to the place where we are? Because you can't really live life on a lie and expect that it's going to continue to make sense. Because eventually people are going to figure out these lies, and they're going to understand that something is not right. As far as I understand these stories, just as a little refresher, that the Mother, Father, God of creation, of the entirety, came into existence through their actually the Father rose up out of the water, looked down into the reflection in the water, saw his reflection, called it forth. A beautiful female rose from the water, at which point he realized that this water, this presence, was there all the time before he even rose up out of the water. And this male and this female energy, this mother-father energy, upon their interaction with each other and recognition, created a spark, a third energy, the autogens, the Christ consciousness. And this energy was given then authority to go into the world to continue to create. And from there, the autogens created 4 realms. And there were beings put in charge of these 4 different realms. And these 4 realms had beings that were put into these realms. And there were 3 other realms within each of those. And somewhere along the way in one of these realms, something occurred that is described throughout the Nag Hammadi as an error. That there was a being that came forth that was imperfect, ignorant of how it all was put together. Whether this was a rebellion in a particular realm or kingdom, or whether this had something to do with a betrayal of Sophia, whether she was betrayed because something was taken from her. Whatever the case may be, the product of that came this character that they call Yaldabaoth. Well, Yaldabaoth in the Holy Bible is there. His name is in Yaldabaoth. It's Yahweh or Jehovah. And so we have this character that the Bible is based upon, the Old Testament, this God, who we find out in the Nag Hammadi library is the fallen one. The fallen one. So we consider the fallen one, as we know the stories, that this fallen one is the stories that we have of Satan or the devil or Lucifer. We kind of lump them all together. And we say that this one is out here and then God is here. But these stories all show that they are all one and the same. As a matter of fact, in esoteric science and philosophy, there's a saying that God and the devil are one. So here we have a book, the Bible, which puts forth the premise that the God in that Bible is the God of all creation. And then we look at the Nag Hammadi library, the Gnostic Gospels, we find out that this isn't the case at all. This is not the case. That the one who is the God of the entirety, the Mother, Father, the Great Spirit, is the Creator. That this one of this particular material reality we're in is the fake God. Because Yaldabaoth thought he was the only one. And when Yaldabaoth found out otherwise, because the true Mother, Father, God appeared, it only made Yaldabaoth, or Yahweh, more upset, more arrogant, and therefore decided to rebel against God even more. And the human skin suit was made in order to trap the essence of the Mother, Father, God. And somewhere along in all of this, after the skin suit was made and Adam comes forth, Yaldabaoth became jealous because Adam had all of the gifts that were given to him to be the best being that he could be. And Yaldabaoth and all of his minions that Yaldabaoth had created, they became jealous. And they rebelled against man even more and rebelled against God even more. And they started treating God badly, or Adam badly, and that's when God intervened. The Mother, Father, God intervened to assist Sophia to regain what was taken from her, from Yaldabaoth, and in the process, Adam received that spirit, that breath from God, that Yaldabaoth, Yahweh, could not provide to it. And once this was found out, we see that the wisdom that was given and attained was not something that was bad, but was something that was good. It was taking Adam out of this place of being a slave into being the divine being that he was supposed to be, but that was being kept from him and hidden from him by Yaldabaoth, Yahweh. So, big discrepancy in the story. And then what happened after that? They got kicked out of the garden. And then Yahweh, Yaldabaoth, in anger, raped Eve. Raped her. This is the stories in the Gnostic Gospels. And in that rape we have Cain and Abel. Somewhere along the line, there was a point in which Yaldabaoth, Yahweh, was removed from power and was replaced by his son, Sabaoth. And with all of this that took place, Sabaoth changed his ways because he saw the power in which his father was removed and decided and realized that he better get with the program and do things the right way, and so was doing things differently. So at some point in time, we've got these different beings that are involved with the reality of this planet. So we have the warlike God, and then we have the gods who are more peaceful. We have the New Testament stories of Jesus talking about God, but he's not talking about the warlike God, Yahweh. He's talking about the Mother, Father, God of the entirety. So big discrepancies going on. Big discrepancies. So which one do we do? Well, I think that's where we have to let our faith lead us along this path. We simply need to look at the information, see what's there, see if we can make sense of it for ourselves, and then meditate on it. I needed to really take some time to get away, because after going through the hypostasis of the archons, the apocalypse of Adam, the secret gospel of John, all of the words of the dialogue with the Savior, on and on, all the other ones we read, there was just too much information showing this contradiction. Too much information in the Gnostic Gospels that was all telling the same story, whereas the Old Testament was not. So that's basically the story, and that's what I've come to understand. And in my meditations, in my searching on this, I find that this is something that has come to make more sense to me. Helps me to look at the overall puzzle and kind of put it in context. As they say, the truth shall set you free, and I feel that in a way there has been this freedom gained, because a lot of things started to fall in place in my understandings of things once you start to put the pieces together and realize how we were deceived. Because once you understand the ideas that men with political agendas edited the book, we realize something is not going to be in there, because we know in this day and age, in 2015, when somebody has a political agenda, it gets in and it spoils the real meaning of things. We see it happen all the time with all the different systems that are going on, from the healthcare systems to now what's going on with the FCC to, every other system that's taken place. So we really need to seek out the truth. One of the phrases that Jesus used quite often was, "Seek and ye shall find." So the question is, why would somebody have to seek something unless, of course, it was hidden? Because to seek for something implies that you're looking for something that is hidden. Well, that's exactly what we need to do. Search for the thing that is hidden. Well, what's hidden? The truth. The truth is hidden. So we seek to find the truth, and if we seek to find it, we shall find it. And the truth might not be what we're told it was, which is why we need to seek it out, because the majority of the people on this planet have been spoon-fed this information for such a long time that it's easier to believe the lie because that's all you've grown to know. To be presented with something that is different than what you've been taught your whole life. That's a big change, and not everybody's willing to take that step. But if you take that step, there's a lot to be learned. So I was going to get on and continue reading some more of the Nag Hammadi today. However, we'll just pick up with that tomorrow. But I just kind of wanted to do a recap because there's so much information out there that we really need to grasp and understand that is beyond what we've been told. And unless we're willing to take that stance to search for the truth, we're just going to continue to walk in the darkness of ignorance. And I'd rather walk in the light than in the darkness any old day. And I'm sure you would as well. So that's it. Let's be strong enough, and don't believe what I say. Go read for yourself. I've made all of these links available. Read for yourself what is there. Put the information together. Chart it out. Make your notes. Go over it. And come to understand for yourself what's really going on. Because that's the only way we're going to be free in this world. To truly get to the truths. Because so many people are not getting to the truth. So many people are just content to go with the standard stories that are told, which are misinformation that we know have agendas. And whenever there's an agenda in something, we now have to start to see that there's something in there that maybe we need to look past. Okay? Okay. Moving on from there. I have an article here. This is at In5D. I like the In5D site. I think they have a lot of great information there. This is an article up here. It's by on Dolores Cannon. Dolores, as you know, passed away last year in 2014. She's out there, I'm sure, running around in the old convoluted universe that she's written about, and she's just having a great old time exploring all the things that she wrote about and now experiencing firsthand. It says Dolores Cannon was a past life regressionist, hypnotherapist, author, and speaker. This interview was done during her UK tour in Cardiff. She's helped many people all around the world to understand the problems and issues we face in our current life by firstly understanding our past. Dolores has studied the various hypnosis methods and thus developed her own technique, which enabled her to gain the most efficient release of information from her clients. The teaching was called Quantum Healing Hypnosis Therapy. And over the course of the years, spent a lot of time with UFOs. I mean, Dolores was quite a fascinating woman. I was very fortunate to get to know Dolores over the course of the years through the various expos and things that I worked with and had been a part of. Wonderful woman. Very, very insightful. I heard her speak many times. Had opportunities to speak with her one-on-one. And just a lot of great information. And as it says, we need to go and look at our past. Because if we don't remember what it is those mistakes of the past were, we might just end up repeating those things. The whole idea is to not repeat these things, to find a way to get past the lies, the mistruths that are out there, so that we can really get to the truths. Again, that's what it's all about, getting to the truths. And Dolores really got into that. And the last thing she was talking about before she passed on, she was talking about the reality of the Earth, the new Earth, and how we are actually pulling apart a third dimensional reality, a fifth dimensional reality, and we're actually pulling apart in this world. And as we're pulling apart, we have one consciousness which is moving with the one way and the other moving the other way. And it all kind of ties in with the ideas of the separating of the wheat from the chaff, the good and the evil. It tells us that we have an opportunity to put our consciousness where we want to make the changes we want to. And as we listen to all of these channeled messages on a regular basis, they're pretty much saying the same thing. We have an opportunity. In the Bible, it talks about a new heaven and a new earth. So it's not a foreign concept. It's something that we need to understand. So for those of you who aren't familiar with Dolores Cannon, look her up. Here's a link here to get you started. There's an interview here. This one is a 37-minute interview. She's got a lot more online. She's got a number of books you can find. If you search out her books, just follow the links here and you'll find that listening and reading and understanding what Dolores was about will really bring a lot of insight and value to your life. Okay? Now, speaking of channeled messages, we do one of these all the time, and here is our next channeled message for today. This one comes to us from Hilarion. There we go. Hilarion.
Hilarion.
March 15th through the 22nd, 2015, by Marlene Swetleshoff.
Hilarion.
Beloved ones, as you each follow your own star and go within often, you begin to enjoy sitting in the stillness of your soul where there is peace beyond understanding. This is your special place, your sacred sanctuary, your sacred temple. This sacred place makes everything you are passing through worthwhile and relevant. Therein lay worlds of infinite possibilities like golden treasure waiting to be found. You can remember all that you have ever known and experienced within this sacred space. You can reconnect with your true and authentic self, the innocent self, the liberated self. The inner life is calling to you during these times, and many of you are answering that call. Much will be discovered, pondered upon and assimilated as you discover the roots that connect you to the divine. Once this divine connection occurs, there is nothing that can ever tempt you to go back to the way it was. All is becoming clearer, all is changed. A sublime joy and gratitude becomes your everyday song. You cannot stop smiling as you truly see the great beauty that surrounds you, in your environment, in your relationships, in your daily life and every nuance of it. Life and vitality flow through your veins, and it is so good to be alive in each moment. With great appreciation you offer thanks to the divine for the goodness and sweetness that is your life, the angelic beings who are your partners in life, and the soul family who love you through thick and thin. It is on earth now as it is in heaven, and all is right with the world. You understand that it is your own perception that has been shifted into feeling this new consciousness, this new connection, this new state of being. Your body literally vibrates with a constant flow of energy, and this is a sign that you are now firmly on the right track, the path of light that you chose to walk in this lifetime. Now you begin to understand and appreciate the journey that has brought you to this point. If you had not experienced the times of trial, tribulation, and challenge, you could not appreciate the feeling you are now experiencing. The contrast between the two polarities would not now be felt so deeply. Give yourselves a pat on the back and say well done. Reward yourselves with something that represents a treat for you. Pause and take a moment to appreciate the gift. Yes, there is more work and effort ahead, but you now realize that it is these moments and these personal revelations that make life more meaningful. As you anchor more of your divinity into your physical body, the changes within it seem miraculous, even to you who have firmly believed that it was possible. The evidence of its manifestation removes all doubt. From this point on, your personal guides who have been with you from the drawing of your first breath upon this planet and the new ones that have been recently assigned to you will guide you more deeply and powerfully to the mission that you have chosen to fulfill. This mission is not one that is something that will be almost impossible to accomplish. Your mission is always aligned and tailored to your life and the needs that are most important to you. It is now a path of joy and happiness that you walk, and while you do this, you bless everyone around you with whom you come in contact. The energy of joy and happiness is most contagious and uplifting, and is a welcome balm to the weary souls who long in true hope for a better way, a better life. The light that radiates from within you inspires the same state of being within others. Add your energies in group focus and know that it is magnified 1,000,000 times by your family of light. Intend that it is so, and it shall be done. Until next week. I am Hilarion.
All right, very nice message from Hilarion. It's all about change, positive change that we can make in life, and each change starts with the first step. We have to change ourselves. We have to change ourselves. That's the number one thing. All right, I'm going to continue on until I finish through this book, and then I'll pick up another one after this, and we'll do the passages. But this is the Warrior of the Light. We're just making our way through, and the next one of the passages here is, the warrior of the light has the qualities of a rock. When he sits on flat terrain, everything around him is in harmony and he remains stable. People can build their houses on him and the storm will not destroy them. However, when he is placed on a slope and the things around him show neither balance nor respect, then he reveals his strength. He rolls towards the enemy that is threatening his peace. At such moments, the warrior is devastating force and no one can stop him. A warrior of light thinks about both war and peace and knows how to act in accordance with the circumstances. Very good, very good. You know, we're all warriors down here, and we all have to kind of pick the battles we're going to fight. There's a lot of things going on here. One thing I think we need to all be aware of is not getting caught in the traps, because it's easy to get caught in the traps of the daily problems of the world. Sure, we need to attend to the problems, but if we get caught in all the lies that are being told and we don't realize we're being lied to, we got a big problem. So rather than us getting caught up in all of the bad things that go on, we need to focus on all the good things that are happening, because in thinking of the good things, we bring ourselves into a place of attracting more good things to us. The world needs heroes. There's no doubt about that. So we need to step up. We need to be the heroes that the world is waiting for. And there's a lot of heroes on this planet that want a lot of good things to happen. It's time for all of us to rise and to step forward to really bring the light and bring the goodness into the world that we want, so we don't have to deal with all this other nonsense. Because it's a small group of small-minded individuals that are perpetuating all of these agendas. So let's contradict or change what they're doing by simply putting good into the world. And good will outdo whatever they're doing any day of the week. All right, that brings us to our meditation for today. So go ahead, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and exhale. Take another deep breath. Exhale again. Let your breathing just become nice and easy as you breathe in and out. And just feel this energy moving through your body. And as it moves through your body, just imagine how this energy not only moves through your body, but moves throughout the universe around you. It moves through each and every one that you know. There isn't a being upon this planet that is not affected by the energies around them. And as we become more attuned to these energies and learn how to work with them, we find ourselves being more effective. So we imagine ourselves walking the path of light in balance with the energies, processing them all through our various energetic centers in our body. And as we do, we walk on the path and we're able to help those who are out of balance. So imagine yourselves now walking along the path, moving along life in balance. No matter what the energies are coming your way, you're dealing with them, you're balancing them, and you're just moving right through them, along with them. And as you do, we see people along the way that have fallen, that are out of balance, that don't know how to handle this energy. So just imagine yourself reaching down to them, reaching your hand out to them and helping them up. And as you help them up, they feel the balance of energy within you, and it helps to balance them out. And they in turn go into the world and they help others. And we understand how one person could affect another, that affects another and another and another, and we realize how each and every one of us can make a difference in this world. All we have to do is have faith and believe in who we are and understand the energies available to us at each and every moment. So let's just imagine as we go through the world today, helping and lifting up those who are out of balance. whether it's physically by extending a hand to someone in need, or just mentally and energetically by simply having a thought. And let us know that we are helping the world person by person as we do this, like lights being turned on in a room, or candlelight being turned on in the dark. With each and every candle, more light shines. So let's just imagine this light and this love being expressed into the world. And let's just imagine the world becoming a better, happier, more peaceful place. And that we are all part of this process of change. So let's continue on that journey today of helping others, lifting them up, knowing that we are protected by the light around us. And let us just share that light and share that love. So let's our subconscious mind continue on that journey. And let's bring the conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3 coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2 coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1 coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, whole. Take another deep breath. Exhale. And open your eyes. And that's it, my friends. That is the show for today. It's good to be back. Just kind of getting my stride again. It's like riding a bike. Just need to kind of get back into the flow. But I think today was a good start. I'll be back tomorrow, and we'll continue on. In the meantime, the links for everything is available. FirstContactRadio.com. The links to all the information on the shows we do is available. So you can just check them out. Go to past shows. Read through the non-commodity text. Watch the videos. There's plenty of information out there to help you to understand that there's much more in the world that we are being told about on a regular basis by those in the mainstream sources. We don't need to rely on them. We can do this ourselves. And once enough of us understand, once we get past that point where there's enough of us who believe, the scales will tip and things will change drastically. We can make it happen, my friends. We're all in this together, so let's do it. You guys have a great day. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I love you. Keep loving each other. Peace. I'm out of here.